LCH motor cars in Naples, we have two fine examples of Porsche racing cars. One of them, the 917 PA. PA stands for Porsche Audi. In 1969, Porsche, in response to a change of regulation, built 25 917s. At that time, they were 4.5 litre for the World Manufacturers' Championship. When Porsche did these 25 cars, Joe Siffert, my great co-driver from Switzerland, he brought a coupe with the top cut off and the body designed by Tony Lapine, Porsche head designer, and that's the car that's behind me right now, and we'll be racing that tomorrow afternoon. Porsche 917 has about 600 horsepower. It weighs about 1,700 pounds. Now, at the time that Porsche were doing the 917s, they were doing a huge amount of work. They were racing 5 cars with 10 drivers in the World Manufacturers' Championship. Pressure lights coming on.
On the right-handers?
Yes,
or
there's a faster form. And the understeer is enormous.
Yeah, we haven't changed anything other than the sway bar adjustment.
The biggest important thing in the 917 is that it's all gear drive. Everything is centered off of that. All the measurements need to start there, and then you build the engine around that gear cluster.
The 917 is a normal 4-speed gearbox with no interlock. So I go from 4th, top gear, straight into 1st, and they turn one back here. So there are differences. Because the 983 is so much lighter, it is much lighter on the steering, but it's got a bit more grip. Now the 917 has got more power. It's over 600 horsepower, as opposed to 400 horsepower. But the weight at 1,200 pounds against 1,800 pounds is a difference. So the lap times are actually almost the same.
And the most important thing was not so much how much power these engines make anymore, but we needed to make sure it ran correctly, had the right mixture, no oil leaks. So we ran it about 8 hours on the dyno before we ever stuck it back in the car. It was worth it because we haven't had any problems. The engine's getting great gas mileage, and believe it or not, that 5-liter 12-cylinder engine's getting about 5.5 miles to the gallon. That's phenomenal.
The track itself it's a good track, and it's been modernized, and that means that they cut out some of the dangerous corners and they added gravel traps. In '77, I'd had a very bad accident in Canada in a Can-Am car where I'd made a small change to the front wing, 1/4 of an inch lower, On the next lap, it took off at 140 miles an hour, went straight in the air, came down upside down. It broke my neck, my shoulder, split the breastbone, broke my ribs, and I was a long time recovering. But as a year later, when I'm now driving again, the man I'd been driving for, Carl Haas in Chicago, asked me if I'd stand in for Alan Jones, his regular driver in the Can-Am series here at Laguna Seca. And early on in practice, I was going pretty well in this Lola Can-Am car, and I was behind George Follmer, and I saw him fly into the barriers and undergrowth, and he wrecked his leg, and I lost a second a lap from then on. Well, that corner today is the downhill left-hander with a huge runoff area and gravel track, so the track is pretty safe. I got stuck behind a red McLaren for the first part of the race, and I could really make pretty big gains in 2 or 3 of the corners at the top of the hill and here, but I couldn't get by him. And then I got by him, and then there was a full course yellow, the pace car came out, and he passed me under the yellow. But then I had to do it all again. And I got by him, and there were 3 cars ahead of me that I think, if I'd been able to get by earlier, I would have probably been able to get them eventually, but it was good. The car ran perfectly, we had no incidents. And this is a great event. It's Steve Earle's last year. It's 36 years of putting on this wonderful vintage event.
Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us.
But it's a wonderful track, a wonderful place. I've got 2 wonderful cars to drive. What else can I ask for?
This is the penultimate race of the afternoon here. That's the 36 Rolex Monterey Historic Automobile Races, Group 6B, 1966 to 1974 Can-Am.